Readiness is a lie your nervous system invented to keep you exactly where you are, and every single day you believe it, you're quietly signing a contract to stay the same person you were yesterday. Readiness is a feeling most people spend their entire lives chasing and never quite catching. And the reason for that is simple but deeply uncomfortable. Readiness is not something that appears before you act. It is something that gets built because you acted. The waiting is not preparation. The waiting is the avoidance dressed up in something that sounds responsible. Think about the last time you genuinely felt completely ready for something that mattered. Not a small task, not a routine errand, but something that actually required something from you. If you search back far enough, you will likely find that you were not ready at all. You were scared and uncertain and probably convinced you were not equipped. But you did it anyway. And somewhere on the other side of that action, something shifted. That shift is what waiting can never manufacture. Here is what the waiting version of you is actually doing. It is not preparing. It is protecting. Protecting you from the risk of trying and falling short. Protecting you from the vulnerability of being seen going after something and potentially not getting there. The logic underneath the delay is not about timing at all. It is about fear wearing the costume of patience. And fear is extraordinarily good at disguising itself. It sounds like being strategic. It sounds like doing more research. It sounds like waiting for a sign or a green light or a better season of life. But underneath every reasonable sounding justification is the same core belief that you might not be enough and that staying still is safer than finding out. The problem is that staying still is not neutral. Every day you wait, you are making a choice. You are voting for the version of yourself that stays in the margins. You are reinforcing the idea that your life is something that happens to you rather than something you build. And the longer that pattern runs, the harder it becomes to interrupt, not because starting gets more difficult, but because the story of who you are deepens around inaction. There is also something worth naming about what waiting does to your relationship with yourself. When you keep promising yourself that you will begin, and then you do not, you erode your own trust. Quietly, steadily, you start to become someone who does not keep their word to the one person who has no choice but to live with the consequences. And that erosion is not loud. It does not announce itself. It just shows up as a low, dull sense that something is off, that you are living slightly beside your own life rather than inside it. So what does actually moving look like, practically speaking? It does not look like a complete transformation. It does not require some massive leap that rearranges everything at once. It looks like doing one specific thing today that the waiting version of you would have postponed. Sending the message, starting the draft, having the conversation you have been orbiting around for weeks, signing up, showing up, telling someone about the thing you keep only telling yourself. Small, direct, concrete action. Not because it solves everything, but because it proves something to the part of you that has started to doubt whether you are capable of moving at all. The version of you that finally stops waiting does not look dramatically different from the outside at first. They do not wake up fearless. They do not have every answer locked in. What they have is a different relationship with uncertainty. They have learned to move alongside the discomfort rather than waiting for it to disappear before they begin. That is not a personality type. That is a practiced skill, and it starts the first time you act before you feel ready. You have been waiting for confirmation that you are enough, that the conditions are right, that success is sufficiently guaranteed before you commit. But none of those confirmations come in advance, they come after. The clarity you are waiting for is on the other side of the decision, not before it. And this matters now, not as a concept, not as something to revisit later, but today, because the waiting version of you is not a temporary phase. Left uninterrupted, it becomes a permanent posture. It becomes who you are. And years from now, the distance between who you became and who you were capable of being will not feel abstract. It will feel like loss. You do not need more time. You have had time. What you need is to stop negotiating with the fear and start moving in spite of it. The version of you that acts before feeling ready is not reckless. That version is the one who actually gets somewhere. That version is who you have been waiting to become. Stop waiting to become them and just be them, starting with what is directly in front of you right now, today.